The ninth set of counsels. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. In the name of Allah, the most compassionate, the most merciful. There is no strength or power save by Allah, the Most High, the Almighty. All praise be to Allah, Lord of the worlds, who ordered His believing slaves to assist each other in benevolence and taqwa. He described His pious slaves as being those who exhort one another to truth and exhort one another to patience in His clear book. He says, "Help one another in benevolence and taqwa, and do not help one another in sin and transgression." Chapter 5, verse 2. He has also said, "Those who believe and do good works, and exhort one another to truth, and exhort one another to patience." Chapter 103, verse 3. May Allah's prayers and peace be upon our Master Muhammad, the trustworthy messenger, and upon his good and pure family, and his companions who are rightly guided and guides of others. To proceed, the enlightened one, Sayyid Abul Wafa' bin Muhammad Isa al-Wafa'i al-Misri, requested to take from me the covenant of companionship and to invest him with the blessed Sufi mantle. We granted his request due to his insistence and the presence of signs that he possesses a true desire to attain those things and follow this way. The one who loves a people is one of them, and the one who resembles them or gathers with them is also one of them, by the bounty of Allah, the Generous, the Sovereign. We have thus taken from him the covenant of companionship, and we have invested him with the blessed Sufi Alawi prophetic mantle in accordance with that which has been narrated on the authority of the masters of this path, the leaders of this affair, the people of certainty and divine knowledge. May Allah benefit and bless us by them and allow us to emulate them in the best way. May He allow us to tread their noble path, allow us to attain the knowledge and understanding of realities that they possess, and may He bring us together with them in the abode of His generosity, with those that Allah has favored, of the prophets, the people of immense truthfulness, the martyrs, and the pious. They are the best of company. Such is the bounty of Allah, and it is sufficient that Allah knows all. Chapter 4, verse 69 through 70. The covenant and the investiture took place on the great day of Ashura, the 10th of Muharram, the month of Allah, at the beginning of the year 1107 Hijri. May Allah bestow His care and concern upon it, make it sincerely for His sake, and a means of attaining His love, proximity, and pleasure. As Allah has said, "Say, this is my path. I call to Allah on clear evidence. I and whoever follows me. Transcendent is Allah, and I am not one of those who associate partners with Him." Chapter 12, verse 108. I then counsel myself, him, and all our brethren who follow Allah's religion and who are on the path to Allah to have taqwa of Allah, in private and in public, and in every state and in every place. For indeed, Allah is with the people of taqwa and the people of ihsan, excellence. Chapter 16, verse 128. I counsel myself and them to believe in Allah, His angels, His books, His messengers, the last day, His decree, whether it be good or bad, the resurrection, that all people will be gathered in front of Allah, the reckoning, the scales, the bridge, the pool, intercession, paradise, and the fire, and that the believers will see their Lord in paradise. I counsel myself and them to hold fast to the 5 prescribed prayers, which are Dhuhr, Asr, Maghrib, Isha, and Fajr, by doing the following: praying them in congregation, praying each prayer at the beginning of its time, praying with the heart that is present with Allah during it, and praying it in a state of submissiveness. The person praying must not think about anything other than what he is doing at the time. He thus reflects on what he is reciting of the Quran and seeks to understand the meaning and secrets contained in the words and actions of the prayer, standing, bowing, prostrating, and sitting, for therein are noble and subtle wisdoms and secrets. I counsel him to be consistent in performing the following prayers. 1. The recommended prayers that are legislated before and after the prescribed prayers. 2. The witr prayer, The most complete method is to perform 11 units, but any number less than that can be performed down to 3 units, which is the minimum it is appropriate to pray. 3. The duha prayer. The best is to pray 8 units. The minimum is 2, and moderation is to pray 4 or 6 units. 4. The prayer between Maghrib and Isha, which is known as Salat al-Awwabin, the prayer of those who constantly return to Allah. The most complete method is to perform 20 units, and the minimum is 6 units. If someone wishes to pray 20 units, it is good if they recite Surat al-Ikhlas 3 times in every unit after reciting Surat al-Fatiha. For reciting Surat al-Ikhlas 3 times is equal to reciting the whole Quran, and there is sufficient time to do so. 5. Praying in the night has an immense merit and a great station. One should thus be consistent in it and perform it in abundance with submissiveness, presence of heart, and reflection, lengthening one's standing, bowing, and prostration. I counsel him to give whatever charity he is able to give, even if it is only a little, for this is great in Allah's sight. That which is given seeking Allah's mighty countenance is not regarded as being a little. Charity has a unique status in Allah's sight, especially if it is given to a poor person who is pious, or a needy person who is virtuous. A hadith tells us that, in every moist liver there is a reward. The footnote here reads, narrated by Al-Bukhari and Muslim, the meaning of the hadith is that the believer may be rewarded for the good he does to any human or animal. I counsel him to fast in abundance, for fasting is a means of training the lower self, and it is one of the pillars of spiritual striving. Through fasting, one's lower self is disciplined, and one's physical desires are broken. When he fasts, he should prevent his tongue and the rest of his body parts from falling into sin, and engaging in that which is superfluous. He should ensure that he breaks his fast with food which is lawful. He should be sure to fast on the days on which it is meritorious to fast, such as the day of Arafah, the days of Ashura and Tasu'a. The footnote here reads, the 10th and 9th of Muharram respectively, and the 6 days of Shawwal. The best fast is to fast every other day, and if the seeker is able to do this, he should. If he is not able to do so, he should fast on Monday, Thursday, and Friday. If this is not possible, he should fast 3 days in every month, and he should make his fast coincide with the white days. The footnote here reads, the white days are the days which follow nights in which the moon is full, namely the 13th, 14th, and 15th days of each lunar month. This is the minimum level of fasting. It is light upon the lower self and has a great merit, for the hadith mentions that it is equal to fasting the whole year. I counsel myself and him to recite the mighty Quran in abundance, but also to reflect upon what is being recited, and to recite with presence of heart and submissiveness, and in a slow, measured way, tartil, avoiding haste and heedlessness. I counsel myself and him to remember Allah in abundance, for remembrance is pivotal on the path to Allah, and the seeker is dependent upon it. He should repeat in abundance, La ilaha illallah. There is no deity save Allah, for it is Allah's fortress. When he remembers Allah, he should remember Him with his heart and tongue, and with presence, focus, correct etiquette, and submissiveness. If he does so, he will attain the fruits and inward and outward benefits of Allah's remembrance. I counsel myself and him to have sincerity, ikhlas, in all his states, deeds, and words, to trust fully in Allah, to surrender his affair to Allah, to rely upon Allah, and to constantly return to Allah. I counsel myself and him not to be attached to this worldly life, and to be content with a small amount of worldly things, food, clothing, accommodation, and other things. Let his state be that of a serious traveler on a long journey. Let him only take what provision he needs to reach his destination. Let him not be attached to anything more than that, and let him not seek or strive to attain that. His seeking and striving should be for his hereafter, for this is the true homeland and place of eternal rest. I counsel myself and I counsel him to humble himself to Allah and to show humility to Allah's believing slaves. His heart must be free and pure from envy, rancor, or hatred towards any Muslim. He must love for the Muslims what he loves for himself, and dislike for them what he dislikes for himself. He must show them good character, and patiently bear any harm which comes from them. In fact, he must go further and pardon them if they harm or wrong him, and pray for them. By doing so, people attain greatness and reach the stations of perfection. He must avoid anger, for there is no good in it. In fact, it is completely evil, unless it is anger for the sake of Allah, such as when things which Allah has made sacrosanct are violated, or when Allah's obligations are ignored. People should become angry in these situations, provided the situation demands this.